welcome to the Chelsea Skidmore Show. I'm here today with my very special returning guest, Ilah Brock, who is a hypnotherapist and law of attraction coach.
Hello.
Hi, Ilah.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're outside in the backyard of Encino. It was a beautiful day.
It's gorgeous out.
We are discussing one of my favorite things in nature, in the presence of the universe and the energy field.
Right.
I'm jumping right into what I think is the language of this.
Well, yeah. No, all of it is, and you can't really do it wrong so much. No, this is all about law of attraction, and basically it just says what we think about, we attract.
So just to, throw a couple stats out there, you were here on our podcast before, earlier, and we talked about a little bit about this stuff.
Yeah, just a little.
But
I touched on it.
You work as a hypnotherapist and a law of attraction coach.
And what I do basically is hypnotherapy, but I add in so many different modalities and techniques into my practice, such as law of attraction. And I just teach my clients what it is and how it works. I teach them different elements when I'm an NLP practitioner, which is neuro-linguistic programming practitioner as well, and I teach them. This is just all part of what the services, if you will, that I provide my clients, as well as the other thing that I was telling you about before called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, which is the tapping. Learning to clear your
I've
own
heard about that.
Electrical meridians to create better change and better, you can reduce the anxiety or pain using EFT.
Yeah, isn't that associated a lot with trauma therapy?
No.
And just make sure you talk loud.
No, not
a little louder than
necessarily.
usual.
Yeah, not necessarily trauma. No, it can be used for anything. Sometimes in the middle of the night, I'll wake up. Maybe I have a bill I forgot all about, and I've got a little anxiety over that. So if I do my tapping, it'll help release the anxiety so I can go back to sleep.
Because your body stores trauma and anxiety
or something
physically.
It'll just
so
create.
it helps.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So I might have this an anxiety moment. I just want to go back to calm.
Yes.
So I recognize my body. I thank it. I acknowledge whatever's going on because it needs to process something.
Yeah.
So it's processing because I work with emotions. And emotions are like energy in motion, and they have to move. Otherwise, they get trapped.
Emotions are energy in motion.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought. And they get trapped?
They get trapped. You can, so much evidence in scientific evidence. There's a book that's, it's called The Great Pain Deception by Osnick. I can't remember the last name, but I'll get it for you. This book, it's all designed around how emotions are really a good portion of our pain and our illnesses.
Yeah.
That are just trapped. I've had trapped emotions for decades that had to release. I didn't even know they were trapped. I couldn't sleep well or something like that. And that
how do you identify if they are trapped, and then what does one do to release them?
Well, you can come to me and I can help you.
Okay.
It's called the release technique. Sometimes I don't even know. For example, about a year and a half ago, I went to see my hypnotherapist because the best hypnotherapists have a hypnotherapist.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I went and saw mine, and I told them I just wanted some better sleep. So I remember laying in the recliner in hypnosis. I remember I'm very alert, very aware of what's going on. He started saying something. I don't remember what he said before or after the word working on sleep. He said something like that. All I remember doing is turning my head, and I started to cry.
Whoa.
And I didn't even see that coming. And all of a sudden, this memory of why I hadn't slept more than a couple hours at a time for 45 years. Now, you can, whatever you're about to think with what I'm going to say is probably correct. 45 years ago, I was 7 or 8 years old. And if I didn't sleep, I was protected. If I slept, I would be harmed.
I understand what you mean.
I think your listeners can read between the lines on that without saying too much.
Yes.
So once I realized that, all those years, this person took this away from me. And that was my defense mechanism.
Wow.
For all those years. I'm like, wow.
So you're protecting yourself by staying asleep.
Or staying awake.
Staying awake.
I always thought it was genetic. But then when it was just like cool to learn. But I had all this anger inside.
Yes.
So much. It took me, that weekend was New Year's weekend. And it was excruciating for me I ended up making
sorry.
8 loaves of bread and 7 dozen cookies. I actually,
when you found all this out,
well, yeah,
when
this
you had
whole
this
weekend,
realization.
it was
Okay.
like all this energy was just pouring out of me, and this anger. I didn't know what to do with it. Spent 3 hours just journaling.
Wow.
I used to eat Snickers as my stress go-to. No,
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore because I do have changed the way of eating, to more healthy. So I decided I needed something sweet, a go-to. So I ended up eating, a pound of berries mixed with homemade whipped topping.
Ooh, yes.
Took me an hour and a half to eat it, but that was just like that, a nap, journaling, making cookies. And when I say make cookies and bread, I'm not talking about the sugary kind. Like I say, I still stayed within my whole program.
That time that I had a cake pop, did you make that cake pop?
Yeah.
It was incredible.
No sugar.
How was that no sugar?
No sugar. No, I don't use sugar. I don't remember.
What do you use in place of sugar?
It's called erythritol. It's a sugar alcohol.
Does that start with an X?
ERYTH.
I'm thinking of Zenthal or something.
No, this is erythritol. It's just, it doesn't digest, but it does behave just like sugar. No calories, no carbs.
Oh.
And it works and acts and behaves just like sugar.
Huh.
So, and there's no aftertaste. That's why I like it.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a pretty cool ingredient. Now I get it off of Amazon.
Yeah.
In my 2 or 3 pound bags, last forever.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So anyway, I'm making these, I'm ketogenic. So it's just making all this. Anyway, so when I finally went in to see my hypnotherapist, we did what they call the release technique to help open doors, imaginary doors, to cells in my own mind.
Wow.
To release these ideas of
was that you?
Yeah, to release all this anguish and anger and such that was going on in me. So it was good because that night I slept like a little baby.
Is that similar to Reiki, like energy clearing?
No,
or this was a hypnotherapy technique.
This was more of a I don't know. Some psychologists use an EMDR type of technique.
Yeah, I've used that. I've done that before.
I don't do that. I'm not trained there, but I am trained in MER, mental emotional release.
Okay.
So this is a release where you're actually, before you go into hypnosis, you're actually grounding yourself into it's in your imagination, and your imagination is so powerful. Your subconscious is so freaking powerful. You can open doors, just imagining a doorway opening in your gut that just pours out everything that you don't want anymore.
Wow.
And it was so surreal. Then he dropped me into hypnosis afterwards and just reinforced everything that I had just encountered, and I've never slept better.
Wow.
It was like so incredible. I don't wake up every 2 hours unless there's something going on or whatever, but no, I don't have that problem.
So that's one of the examples of how hypnotherapy has helped you immensely.
Oh,
in your
yeah,
life.
and so many different ways. I mean, I've lost weight with hypnotherapy, over 75 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool. And now I get to help people.
And people also do it for like stopping smoking.
Right.
And
one of my biggest clients that I use, the most common is weight loss and smoking and anxiety, the 3 top.
Yeah.
Also, fears and phobias can be used in hypnotherapy. There's so many different reasons you can use it. Pain management. People who have that tinnitus or tinnitus, the ringing in the ears, it can be helped to habituate that.
Yeah, I've done it probably 6 times, I would think, about. And I think my favorite sessions were the ones that were implementing like positive affirmations.
Absolutely.
Because for me, like one of my biggest problem is, negative thinking, fear of success, I'm not good enough. So the ones that, tell me, you're great.
Oh, yeah.
And things like that, and I know people can listen to YouTube video. It's basically like almost positive manifestations when I'm in that subconscious state.
Yeah.
When you've put me under hypnosis, or when, I am under hypnosis, when I can relax my critical mind, right? As I recall. And I find that to be really helpful. That really helps. Yeah.
Does. And I do work with positivity. So if someone comes in with anxiety, I'm going to create a positive atmosphere in hypnosis. We're going to talk about their anxiety. We're going to see where maybe I can find cause. Yeah. But I don't always have to find cause. What do you want to feel instead? Oh, you want to feel this way? One client came in. They had fear of dentists.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was a serious fear. That person was in tears. They had a very traumatic experience sometime before. And I asked how they would like to feel instead. and they told me they would like to feel happy.
Yeah.
So for 30 minutes, I put that person in hypnosis. And when they came out, I said, so are you okay? And they said, yes. And it's like, how do you feel? Happy.
Wow.
It's like, great, so, and their experience was more positive the next time they had gone to the dentist.
So is law of attraction related to this anyway? Is it adjacent? Do they go hand in hand, or is it separate?
We're talking about a law of nature
Okay.
within ourselves. What we think about, we will manifest. So you ever have that thought of somebody, I wish, I want to talk to so-and-so, and all of a sudden they call
Yes.
you? It's like, that
Yes.
is a law of attraction. I can tell you several examples that have happened with me, and I haven't got years of experience. I just know that it works. And sometimes it's hard to describe how it works, but it was just back in, I don't know, January, I think. I was coming home to change clothes for work, and I had a thought that I need more clients. And how am I going to acquire more clients? Because I just need to up my income a little. And it occurred to me, some hypnotherapists go into rehab centers and sober living homes and stuff like that. And there's a lot of them here in the Valley that, where I've been living. And so I made a list of things that I need to do. All of this thought and thinking was about maybe 2 or 3 minutes, just on a scratchy piece of paper. I left it on my bed in my bedroom. I just left and I went to work and didn't think a thing about it. I need new business cards. How am I going to package myself? What steps will I take in order to make this a realization? I got to work, and I'm a tutor for hypnotherapy for some students. And so about an hour into my shift, my job, I got a call from an acquaintance, business associate, I guess. They said that they had a referral for me for somebody who needed a hypnotherapist. So I was great. So I called that person. I understand, so-and-so said you needed a hypnotherapist. No, I don't, but this doctor does. So I called the doctor. I understand you need a hypnotherapist. No, I don't, but I have a sober living home here in the Valley that needs a hypnotherapist to do biofeedback. I about fell out of my chair. Met with this doctor the next day, and 3 days later, I had my first 7 clients.
Whoa. Will you remind me, by the way, after this, because I have a rehab that you could potentially talk to.
Oh, that'd be great.
If you want to just keep attracting.
Oh, definitely.
I, as well, had an experience. I was like, I really want to be in a movie. I really want to be in a movie. And I kept saying that. And I had, so one of the things is that I had no negativity around it. It was just like, I want to do that. And I didn't have any second thoughts. I was just talking to a friend. I was texting a friend about it. I said it to my mom on the phone. 2 days later, I had a part in an Adam Sandler movie. I was on the set in the trailer, and I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
See?
And it was so weird, but something that I think I noticed about that time was that I was just saying it, but I wasn't doing it on purpose.
Right.
I was just putting it out there, and there was no neediness around it, and it was only positivity, and there was no second negative thought like, well, wait a minute. And I think there's something to that, if I'm correct.
Yeah, absolutely. And like with my rehab idea, it was a pure thought. It was just a pure thought I put out into the energy field. This is something I'm going to do. And really, basically, it starts out with, what's your positive intention? What do you want? Okay. We can list all day long, I don't have, and I don't want this, and I don't want that, and blah, blah, blah. And then guess what? You're attracting what you don't want, because that's what you're focusing on.
How do you stay in that positive place when you want to, have these the thoughts that are the manifesting, so to speak?
It's when we're training ourselves to focus since we're children. We focus on, I don't know how. Okay. We focus on, I don't know where to start. I focus
as a
on
negative thought.
Yeah, these are just
narration.
This is just it's a good way to put it. Narration. Just tell me what to do, and I will do it. These are just things. How about if you imagine? Okay, your subconscious mind works with symbols, numbers, and pictures.
Symbols, numbers, and pictures. Okay.
So imagine what you want. If you want to manifest an extra $1,000 a week.
Yes.
Okay. That's your end results. Okay. So what's the step just before that? What would be that evidence just before actually receiving $1,000 extra a week?
Being asked to doing the job, or being asked to do the job?
You go to, what's the step before that? And what's the step before that? These are your evidences to get there. So you were talking about being in a movie. The man who trained me, the
Yeah.
amazing Joe Tabanella. I got to give him a shout out because
What
he
up,
is
Joe?
Joe Tabanella. He is GPS my future. He is amazing. He's the one that has trained me in the law of attraction. He's just phenomenal. He was talking about some of his experiences. I'm going to share one of them that he shares is he wanted to also be in a movie. And some of his evidence was, going to the trailer and seeing his name on the trailer and then having his little backpack or his bag and taking it off his shoulder and dropping it, and having somebody come in a car and having these 2 big bags put in the trunk.
So that was the
tell
imagery he imagined?
This is all the imagery.
Okay.
These are all of his evidences. And then it's like, because he wanted to go on location for a while and he wanted it to be so many episodes or whatever. He had all of this detail. You have to be very specific. So he was very specific in his detail. What would it look like? And that's what he focused on. Mm-hmm. He focused on, and then in his mind, he had it.
Wow.
It was already happening in your mind. And that's where the impetus is. I imagine, for example, $1,000 more a week. But what does that look like? Okay, I can look at what my bank account would look like, and I see $1,000. No. I want it per week. So I need to see deposit $1,000, another deposit $1,000.
The imagery of going on the app of the bank app and seeing deposit 1,000. Okay.
Every week I just see these growing deposits. I mean, that's just evidence in my head. That's like the last step. That's the actual evidence that I'm seeing. Now, how am I going to get it? How it actually happens in the universe is none of my business.
Okay.
You got to get that through our heads. How? None of my business. I have living it inside of me right now. My $1,000 a week or whatever it is. I'm just using this as an example. So I have this, I'm just, what does that feel like? What's the emotion behind that?
Yeah. Because you have to attach an emotion.
You have to.
Right?
You have to have some kind of, what does that feel like? And this also creates, you may have an aspect that pops up. Let's say, $1,000 a week would just be so cool. And you're just thinking, how that looks, and you're really diving into the emotion, and all of a sudden maybe some negative emotion pops up.
Right.
You have to clear that.
Okay.
You have to clear that.
How do you clear?
Well, some of that can be cleared just by recognizing where it came from. Where did I feel this before? Kind of thing. Where did that come from? Okay, I'm going to bring myself into this a little bit. I had an experience where I was seeing somebody pretty exclusively for a couple of months. And they broke it off, and I was just devastated.
Yeah.
But it's only a couple months. So
still.
I'm trying, still.
We're girls.
It's like, I know, right? We're just girls, right? But I was, how can I be devastated? So I text a friend, what's the deal here? How do I clear this? And their response changed everything and gave me just the biggest shift. Wait a minute, you're in an adult relationship for 2 months and you feel like this? Clearly, it's not the relationship. I went, wow. It just opened up an idea in my mind. It came from unprocessed emotion from when I was 16, and I had a boyfriend who broke up with me after 2 months, and I never processed it.
Right. Have you heard the phrase, when it's hysterical, it's historical?
Yeah.
So that's like an example
of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So once I realized that, I did some EFT on it with my EFT trainer, and it's like it just cleared any of that negative charge from years ago. It's gone. So I'm so much healthier now. So it was dealing with that rejection. So now I can go back into my $1,000 a week. I don't have that charge. For example, let's say that's something that came up. Aspects that come up that you need to collapse that might be interfering. You have to collapse them. You can call a hypnotherapist. You can call me. I'll be happy to help with that.
Do you want to give your contact? We'll give it at the end too, but just right now.
562-760-7723. 562-760-7723. Just give me a call. And if you mention Chelsea Skidmore Show, you get the special Chelsea discount.
Wow.
And I know it's great.
In Los Angeles.
I have a office West LA, and I have one here in Tarzana.
Great.
And I'm opening up one eventually in Bear Valley Springs, Tehachapi.
Oh, okay, cool.
That'll hopefully be opened up.
Nice.
So it doesn't matter where you are. I'll come to you too.
I love that.
Yeah. So I'm very flexible.
I had sorry, were you about to?
No, go ahead.
I had another law of attraction experience where I was hanging out with a girlfriend and we were like, we really want to go to an island. I really want to go to an island.
Oh, fun.
And we kept saying it. And I could tell, once I think back on it, the emotion was fun. It was just fun. It was positive. We were like, we want to go on a trip. Let's manifest that. A week later, possibly 5 days later, a guy invited me to Mexico who wanted to go out with me. And he said, come for the weekend. I have a villa. It was him and Tara Reid. Do you remember that?
Wow.
Which is funny. And then I said, can I bring my friend? And he said, yes.
Oh, great.
And I brought her, of course, because we had but literally like a week later, I was in Mexico.
So what happens?
So those two situations, what I realized from that is that it was just fun, positive, and I had nothing else like attached to it.
Exactly.
It just felt very clean. Yeah. But like those are standout moments from a couple of years ago. Yeah. And I'm sure I've had some, I was on the, I'm sure like little things come in that I don't realize, but like those are big ones that stand out. But it's, I think, is it also like making sure that you're in a state of gratitude and appreciation so you can be clear? Like, I feel like you have to be kind of clear a way to attract that stuff in.
It's called SMART.
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 Okay.
Be specific with your idea and intention.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure it's measurable. Something measurable of some sort. And attainable. Reasonable and time-bound. Okay? These are
What's the A?
Attainable.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Achievable or attainable.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it's just, is this possible?
Oh, so for time
so
bound.
So like right now, I definitely could, if I said I want to make $1 million this year, I could do it. Mm-hmm. But there's some steps that I would have to take physically to make sure I got there. I couldn't just say, and then leave it to the universe to hand it to me. That would.
So it has to be a little more reasonable.
Reasonable. No.
Within reach.
Within reach of where my life is right now.
Yeah.
It's not to say that that's not going to happen.
Totally.
I have it in the air. Here's another thing that I'm manifesting. I'm announcing it here on your show. It's in my little law of attraction little file cabinet. I've got it out there. I think about it once in a while. I desire to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Yes.
Okay, so every once in a while, I'll bring that thought up and I'll think about what it would be like to be sitting there on her stage, talking to her about hypnotherapy, law of attraction, NLP, having my hypnotherapist in the audience, being able to talk to it. And then having her, you know how she likes to give stuff away?
I don't watch the show.
I know. Well, she's so funny. She gives stuff away to her audience. Like, remember how Oprah used to do that all the time? She gave cars away or whatever. Well, Ellen does, practical things, and it's a lot of fun. I can just hear her, one of my evidences. It's like, hear her say, and everybody here in the audience will get a free session with Ilah.
Wow.
And she's going to pay for it.
Wow.
That would be $1 million.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Right? But it's like, okay, so I've got an idea. So right now with like your listeners, if they're interested, just create what is it specifically that you want, okay? And remember, word want is a word of lack. We're going to start there, but we're not going to stay there. We're going to change our state. Our state and our behavior are kind of matching together. And everything is happening inside you, inside your imagination, okay? So your self-talk, everything is in your imagination. So that's where you're going to live with this idea. So now you have this specific desire, okay? I use money, but let's do a relationship.
Okay.
Okay? You want a specific, don't look at, I want him specifically.
Yeah.
No. He may be your stepping stone to where you want to go. But manifest, what do you want if in a man or if in a woman? Who that person is, how tall they are, what their hair color, their eye color, or their skin color, how do they dress, what's their occupation? Be specific, but also be flexible.
Yeah.
You want to
something, an exercise that they do in a lot of 12-step programs that I've done a number of times is that when you write on a piece of paper your ideal mate, so you write all the qualities, characteristics, things that you want in a mate.
Right.
And so, for example, like I would write, introduces me to their friends, likes to go on vacation, funny, sense of humor, likes to travel, takes me out to dinner, those things, honest, trustworthy.
Exactly.
post photo of me on their social media. It doesn't keep me a secret. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Interested in what you're doing.
Yeah.
They ask you questions.
So that's the first step. And the second step is you have to be those things, which is like the other hand. And this isn't really law of attraction, but I thought of this. It's sort of similar to me in a way, because then you have to be those things and you attract at the level that you're at.
You do.
So if you want someone who is honest and trustworthy and,
you have to be honest.
You have to be honest and trustworthy.
Exactly.
So I just kind
Your
of thought
behavior needs to match what they're going to attract to you. So what is it about you that's going to be attractive to whomever?
Yeah.
So my list of the qualities of somebody that I'm looking for, I have an idea in my head of who that is. Well, not necessarily who, because I don't know who it is. The universe knows who it is. And every channel I take to get there, it's just an open door. So, for example, I idea a person. Okay, now I've got this idea of this person. Now, all of that looks like I'm going to put a symbol of some sort. Maybe it's a man in a suit, for me, or maybe whatever that is, okay, or whoever, or maybe it's a woman and you want her in direct, whatever that is, put a symbol with it, an idea, an image with this. And what would that feel like to have that? So if it feels so amazing, and maybe you've never been in love before, and you're just like, the idea of what does that look like? Don't think about the movies that you've been in, because it's not like the movies. Okay, just get that out of your head. Remember, that's written for entertainment. But you have this idea of what being in love would be about. What is that? How does that feel inside of you? Now, imagine your relationship in your mind. Now, let's say you're in a relationship that's gone stale. You can law of attraction it back to life.
Ooh.
Here's
okay.
and just be
tell me more.
Careful what you like.
1 year of marriage. Tell me more.
No, just kidding. So you're married and it's like, okay, things have kind of gotten a little wanky. So now imagine this person just being everything you've ever wanted. Maybe they're not yet, but your energy is going to start exploding out of you to them, and their behavior is going to start changing to match yours.
So what do you have to do?
So imagine, every time I see them, I'm just so in love. And you're just imagining the most amazing relationship with, like, say, your husband, your wife. Just imagine kissing all over, or they come in and they touch your face if you like that. Or, one of my favorite nicknames for a guy that I might be seeing, they call me that nickname.
Okay.
I'm not going to say, because you never know who's listening. I don't want to give anyone any ideas. But it's just like, or if they remember, it just little things. Okay, I love lavender roses, and if they ever brought me a lavender rose, oh my gosh, that would just be so cool.
Yeah,
kind of just little things that are just kind of just really in your mind. I just love them so much, and you just imagine that the relationship you want, imagine already happening in your mind, in your body. Okay, you're just imagining it. Do that at least, I don't know, 3 times a day for a good 15, 20 minutes if you possibly can. And writing it down is good, and reading it every day is great. And then this is what's going to happen, okay? You're in it. You're living it, and it feels so amazing. And then your subconscious mind kind of taps you on the shoulder. Now, remember, your subconscious mind controls you. Okay. You're learning how to control it.
Ooh,
law of attraction. This is a law, okay? You're going to attract. Because outside of our bodies is an energy field. It's either a negative energy field or it's a positive energy field. And if there's an energy field, it's going to attract what it needs to attract to get you what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And you're living it. So your mind is like, oh, I love the way this feels, but we don't have it. Well, you know what? We better start doing something to get it. And the energy is going to change, and your body's going to start going in a direction, and attraction is going to come your way. Doors will open. Phone calls will happen. Something's going to happen. How it happens is none of your business. Just be flexible and go through those doors and windows that the society brings, which I'm going to bring about in just a minute how that works. So in about a week or so, you've been doing this so faithfully, 3 times a day, 15 minutes, and you're just living in the beauty of this relationship, let's say with your spouse. And, I just love this. Now, maybe it's not happening in the outer world. It's okay. That's not what you're doing. You're living in it in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're just, it just feels so good. But that subconscious mind's like, what the hell are you doing? We don't do this. No. We have to go back to comfort zone. We have to go back to homeostasis. This is what we do. We don't do that. And you now need to have your first conversation with your own subconscious mind, telling it to F off.
Telling it to fuck off. Yeah.
Telling it. That's like, you know what? Thank you. Acknowledge. It wants to protect you. It's keeping you comfortable. Okay, but this is what I'm doing instead. I'm going to do this because I'm not doing anything out here, subconscious mind. I'm just doing this. You can give your subconscious mind a name if you want. I don't care.
So, and just for the listeners, your subconscious mind is basically like
88% of your brain power.
88? So it's basically the voice that comes in and ruins everything.
Well, it
right?
wants to.
That's my idea.
Yeah, it could. Yes, it also wants to keep you safe because you just go back to what's normal. If you're if you don't like public speaking, it's because there's association to being afraid of public speaking. Right. So you're going to go back to I'm not going to be a public speaker. So it just takes you back to status quo. And that's why lottery winners, they always end up broke because they go back to what they know.
Wow.
If they've never indulged in millions of dollars and yesterday they only had 5 in their bank account and now they have 10 million, in a month they're going to have 5 again or less.
Yeah.
Just because they don't know, their mind doesn't know how to process that.
Yeah.
So processing and living in what you desire is so helpful because then your body, brain starts to match it. And now you've got your subconscious mind struggling to understand. You're telling it, hey, thank you. I acknowledge what you're trying to help me with. But you know what? I'm going to live in this. Nothing's happening. You just keep doing your job. I'm going to live in this. Okay?
Yeah.
So then after, maybe you keep doing it. You're faithful with it 3 times a day. Maybe you can go 4 times a day. And you just live your life. You're just doing your own thing and opportunities and things are going to start to happen because you're very dedicated to this idea of what you want in your relationship, since we're doing relationships. And then another week comes by, and all the while you just keep getting poked by your subconscious mind. Hey, nothing's happening. You're still in the same position you were before you all did this stuff. What are you doing? Let's just go back to the way things were. It was comfortable then. And you're like, thank you. Fuck off. I'm doing this. This is what I want to do. This is my thing. I just want to live in my mind. Nothing's happening out here. Just do your job. So after about a 3rd week or so, usually when you'll start to see a shift. If you've stayed in it faithfully, okay? And remember the old adage, it takes 21 days to make a behavior? No. It takes 21 days to start a behavior. But you've had to be consistent for 21 days. Don't miss a day or you start over.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah. It's just, you got to be consistent. So after about 21 or 28 days or right around there, your subconscious mind's going to struggle. It's always constantly struggling with you, trying to get you back to where you were. This is not what we do. We don't imagine a beautiful relationship because we have this ugly one. We are comfortable in this ugly. No, I want to live in this. Thank you. Just thank you. And all of a sudden, your subconscious mind's like, oh my God, she's not budging, guys. Damn it, we're going to have to go along with her.
Yeah.
Whoosh. And your subconscious mind now has a submission to you. So now you are in control and now things start to happen. Shifts start to,
Is that rewiring your brain?
It's neuroplasticity.
Creating new neural pathways?
Neural pathways. Neuroplasticity can happen. If you've ever, on YouTube, there's a guy, there's the dog. There's a
Cute
guy that does, he has a little 7-minute video on YouTube about the backwards bicycle.
Backwards bicycle.
The backwards bicycle. Highly recommend it. And it's just really cool demonstration of how neuroplasticity can work in adults and how it works in children. Because you can't ride a backwards bicycle.
Right.
It took him 8 months, 5 minutes a day to ride a backwards bicycle. So instead of turning left, it turns right. Instead of turning right, it turns left. And our brains aren't hooked that way. It took him 8 months to do it, five or so minutes a day. His son took him 2 weeks.
Wow.
So young children's neuroplasticity is a lot more flexible than adults. We can change ours.
Yeah.
He kind of proved that, and then you can change it back or whatever, but it's very doable. But the idea is just staying in that idea. Stay in that intention. So when we say, I don't, well, of course.
I can't, I want.
Yeah. You don't. You're absolutely right. You are successful in that. You have exactly what you don't want. You don't want it, so you don't have it. Well, let's just start with the more positive. You switch it around. Now, when negative self-talk comes in, This is one of my favorite things to do. Put an image, an icon, an avatar to that negative self-talk. Let's say you want to make it a troll or something, cartoon, whatever. And a negative, let's say you're not enough. You're not good enough. Let's say that's the phrase that comes up. So let's say that phrase in your voice, you're not good enough. Now say it in Mickey Mouse's voice. It's like...
Which sounds like...
You're not good enough.
Yeah.
Or Scooby-Doo or some other little funny voice.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we just laughed.
Yeah.
You and I just laughed at the idea.
Then it becomes ridiculous
It's
instead
ridiculous.
of menacing.
Exactly. And every time a negative
Shut
thought...
up, bird. You
I know, right? Oh, but every time there's a negative talk, a self-idea in your head, if you just change it right immediately like that to the voice, a different funny voice, and the image that you see on that, drain the color out of it.
How do you not attach neediness or obsession to these things you're manifesting? Like, I feel like you have to get to this place where you are manifesting and want something, but like you're not like white knuckle gripping onto it too hard. No. I think there's like an element of like letting go as well that you have to do.
And you also have to live in your own congruency.
What
my
does that
highest
mean?
value.
Live your own congruency.
Yeah, living in your own. My words match my actions, like you were saying earlier.
Okay.
My behaviors match my words. My highest value is kindness. No matter what, absolutely no matter what, I will always be kind to everybody, and it's not an easy job because that's not always been my nature in the past. Not that I was never unkind, but I, had found myself being rude or whatever.
But it keeps you at a higher vibration, you
Absolutely.
mean?
I want to be in my appreciation. Always in my appreciation. Always. And my appreciation, I carry it in my stomach, into my heart, in my chest. And my highest value, kindness. I mean, everything falls below kindness. Trustworthy. Oh, kindness. Connection, chemistry. What else comes? Positivity. Everything falls under kindness. Gratitude, kindness.
So when you're staying in this place of kindness, it helps aid
it's
your
my value.
manifestation.
Constantly. Because that's like now the universe knows I'm serious. I'm being as pure. I'm trying to be that diamond in a rough, not as organically as some people are. And sometimes we have those wonderful experiences where we can be. Like when I was just thinking, I wasn't even trying to put it into a law of attraction thought about that rehab, but it just happened.
Yeah.
It was
sometimes I can feel myself in that low vibration place. It's like when me and my husband or me and someone else are talking shit about someone else and we're just hating.
Yeah.
And it just like, and we just feel like everything sucks. And it like, you can feel like nothing good is coming from that place. And you feel, but then I've also felt myself in that like high vibration good place where good things are happening. So it's like,
here's a thought.
What are the ways to keep you up there okay.
There's right away. Someone taught me this, and I think it was Ken Debner. Anyway, standing at Starbucks, and there's 10 people in line, and you are just frustrated. You're in a hurry, and you got to get to the line. You just want a cup of coffee, right? So you start saying in your mind to the people working behind the counter, I love you.
What? Oh, you mean when you're frustrated instead of getting a negative thought?
Just start saying the words, I love you. In your mind, just say that. I love you. Looking at them, each individual person. I love you. I love you. If the people in front of you are being assholes, in your mind, just say, I love you. I love you.
Do you have to mean it or you will
just say it. You don't want to you want to try to say it with some meaning behind it. But just saying those words changes your own physiology. I love
like
you.
How smiling makes you happy.
Yes. I mean, just little things that you can do physically. So just saying the words in your mind, because you already have a propensity of what that means. I love you. So when you say it, I love you, I mean, some of your listeners are probably smiling right now, maybe with a frowned brow. What an interesting idea, Some of them are like, forget that. Well, okay. Well, then you're just going to manifest what you're forgot that. But all the times, like, I can't be around negative people. I've sat next to a person that had so much negativity.
You can feel it.
So much so, they were biting at me. Like, just, it was like a pick on. not really, I don't think their intent was to be harmful, but their negative energy was so bad, I had to get up, leave the room for about 10 minutes before I can even come back into the room.
Oh my God.
And then I was fine because I just had to clear it. It was like, and they were still in their negativity when I came back.
What do you do to clear it?
I walked around, I went outside, took some deep breaths. Just try to just forget about, just put myself back in appreciation.
It's like you want to get that off you.
I take my hands and I wave them in front of me, like cutting cords. Just cut the cords.
Like your window wash.
Yeah.
Wax on, wax off, the air in front of you.
Cords,
I like that.
Okay? I can't.
We're doing it right now.
And it may not mean anything, but you know what? I believe in the placebo effect. Okay, so but I walked back in the room and that negativity no longer charged me because I felt like I had this energy field around me that was, and now all of a sudden 3 people walked up and positive energy to me at that particular function. And we had a great talk. Yeah. We just it was all smiles and happy and laughing. It was great. And I was like, okay, this is where that was like a learning experience for me. Okay, I sense negative people and staying in your own tuition. It's like going with your gut. There is something to that. When you're taking a test, second guessing yourself, don't. Just go with your gut. You need to identify your values. What needs to be there? This is like step number 1. What the area that you want to manifest, or what do you want to focus on? You can be relationship, health, fitness, finance, career, anything you want to focus on. And then you identify those values to it.
Identify those values. What does that mean, identify your values?
What needs to be there? What is it important? What is important to you? If it's relationship, what needs to be there? Does there need to be a sense of humor, good looks, certain size, physique? Do they have similar values? What about their intimacy? What about their friendship ideas? What about their similar hobbies? What about their passion? Where do they find these elements that you've already identified? Where's their hierarchy to it? And then if it's a career, what needs to be there? Do you want flexible hours? Do you need to be well compensated? What's your money? What kind of money do you want? What kind of camaraderie do you want with your superiors and your subordinates? Do you want subordinates? Do you want to travel? What your passion is about it? How much acknowledgement do you give it? And you don't worry about how this is going to happen.
Okay.
What you're doing is finally giving yourself the permission to place your awareness on and experience something that is important to you. You will find the right to do this better than the physical manifestation can ever be. Okay. And you have to be willing to just die. If it never happens, it doesn't matter if it never happens. Because in your mind, it's already happening and you're enjoying the experience of it. As you enjoy the experience of it, I'm going to die in this experience. It doesn't matter, universe, if it ever happens, because I know it will.
You're like living through it as if it's already happening emotionally.
And now my body's going, wait. It's happening emotionally, right, in my head. But my body and my mind are like, but I don't have that $1,000 a week. Yeah. We better start doing something. The energy field out from us is they've measured at least 5 feet. So it's like your energy field just keeps going out and things start to become attracting. When I graduated from hypnotherapy school, I was doing law of attraction and this other success program, which I'd be happy to come on the show to discuss. It's called Mental Bank. And it's a great way to, success is not by accident. So I was doing these programs, which is another kind of form of a law of attraction. And I was writing down my affirmation every single day. This one affirmation for months. I'd write it down without fail every night before I go to sleep. I am receiving cash and income from new and exciting places.
Yes.
That's what.
And you always want to say, I am, too, right?
As if it's already happening.
Okay.
I am. And I believed it. I'm receiving. So, I got extra hours at work. I got hired to do some freelance stuff. I won a scholarship. I was just like, money was coming my way. And it didn't even occur to me that my affirmation was coming true. It's like I was just living it.
Yeah.
And that was about 2 or 3 months in receiving like, wow, my affirmation is working. It was in my head, and I was just working the energy. Wherever my window opened, wherever my door opened, I just stayed flexible and just went in it. And then you need to find your evidence procedure. The evidence is, how will you know when you've achieved your desired outcome? Whether it be the suitcases in the trunk or the deposits in your bank account, you see them week after week for that particular amount. You need to construct an image, a scene, something that illustrates to you that the desired result has come to pass. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's almost like a deja vu at that moment. I thought about this. Oh, wow, this is happening. And you just be so happy about it. The scene, and don't be surprised though, because you're manifesting it.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised. The scene must represent that everything important to you, your values, is present in that scene. That's so important. And so you're seeing it, you're feeling it, you're living it as if it's already happening, and it's just a beautiful scene. And then you make your evidence procedure very compelling. So it feels good. It's a procedure rich with sensory. You have to see it, hear it, smell it, feel it, taste it, all of the senses in your mind all the time as much as possible. I say at least 3 times a day. If you can constantly do it all the time. You're on a business call. Let's say you're at work at a bank, for example, and you're trying to manifest, X, Y, and Z. Okay, you just do your business. Every time, every moment you feel, you just go right back into this evidence. You go back into the image of what it feels like. Oh, customer comes in. You're still in it. You're still living it in your mind. You're still working with your outer awake world, doing whatever it is you need to do. You never know. That next person that comes in is going to be the person that will be your connection to whatever it is you're manifesting. You have no idea. It's just... how it happens, it's none of your business.
That's why whenever someone's like, I want a boyfriend, it always you always meet someone when you least expect it.
When you least expect it. Now, here's something that people tend to do. I want to act in a movie, like you were saying, and I want this, this, and this, and this. Okay, so my evidence, procedures, whatever. And let's say you have an agent, and hey, Chelsea, there's a great part I want you to audition for. They love your reel, so come on in. So you audition for it. They love you. They think you're perfect for it. Right? We'll know for sure by the end of the day, but there's no reason why you can't have it. And you're feeling really good because the audition went great. Yeah. And then you get the call that it wasn't yours.
Huh.
What happens?
You feel horrible.
Yeah, no. See, that's what we want to do. We want to go back.
Yeah.
Instead, that was just a learning. It was feedback. It was just feedback.
Keep it positive.
Always keep, okay, well, I didn't get it. That's fine. That wasn't the one. Stay living in what it was. What is. You live in it as if it's already happening no matter what happens out here in the world. You live in it anyway, no matter what. Even when that one didn't happen. I had a client come in. They needed a particular type of teacher for their particular studio. And I was teaching her this very concept, and I was just all the steps. What's your evidence procedure? And she said that's a phone call would be her evidence. Okay,
yeah.
Do you want to go for the phone call? All right, fine. That's all she had. So 2 hours after she left my office, she calls me and said she got a phone call from somebody for meeting her criteria for this particular type of teacher. And it's like, great. But remember, she may not be the one. She might be the stepping stone for you. Sometimes it's a little test. The universe wants to see where you're at. Are you going to stay in the positive, or are you just going to give up when something doesn't happen when you think it should?
Right.
So that person comes in, they do the audition, and it just wasn't the right fit. So I said, let's get specific. So she had a specific schedule every week that she required this particular teacher to have. So 2 days later, she got a phone call. This person was looking for this specific schedule. It was a very obscure schedule, too. Very specific, these particular hours on these particular days. And it was like that person called her and said, do you have any teaching positions open for these particular days for these particular hours? And that's exactly what she had available.
Wow.
So she came in, did the audition, and she got the job. It was
because she stayed positive.
She stayed in it. She didn't know which one of those phone calls was going to be it. She just went through the doors as they opened.
Oh, okay. Go through the doors as they open.
It's like when it's going to be closed, it's going to close. When your relationship, this guy, I really want this particular guy. Oh, but you know what? He might not be the one. And you can't imagine him not being the one because he's perfect. But you know what? He may not be the one. He's just my feedback. Okay, I'm getting closer to what I want. What is it about him that he doesn't have on my list that I really want, That's not there. Okay, he's got like 90%, but there's still that 10%. I'm not looking at that 10%. Oh, I can overlook that. No. Be specific. You want it all? Then you manifest all of it. He's just letting you know. Your universe is letting you know you got a little bit closer. Okay, now you're on the right track. I do a lot with dating apps and people helping them with dating. And just what kind of a caliber of a person do you want? Depends on the pictures you have and the profile you put up. And what do you want? I was manifesting. I was really strange people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even in the business, they have business apps where you can do meetups and stuff like that. Just very strange. I had to change that. I hate to be discriminatory in my sounding. I hope this doesn't sound like that. I wanted a higher caliber, higher energy, higher vibration of a person.
Yeah, that's
People
fair.
that are in that, I wanted to be,
Nothing
I wanted
wrong
to be
with that.
I want to climb up.
Yeah.
Let me climb up the ladder to whoever's already there. And let
Yes.
me help them climb up a ladder
Yes.
as well, kind of thing. So one of the things I get to do is inspire people to do that. So after you've identified your values, career, relationship, whatever. And then you found your evidence procedures. How will you know when you've achieved your desired outcome? You make your evidence procedures compelling by seeing it, hearing it, feeling it, tasting it, seeing it, smell it. You step into your evidence procedure. So experiencing this scene and adjusting it until you feel that you have all the feelings that you want from this experience. You identify the feelings of deep appreciation for the right. You have the right to experience this right now. It's not happening in the outer world. You have the right to experience as if it was happening right now. Remember, you have that right.
You have the right. Yeah, you brought that up to me recently. You have the right.
You do. Become aware of how good you feel in it. And it does. It feels great. And I would recommend just one area to focus on at a time.
Yeah.
As you learn to do this, because it is a practice.
Mm-hmm.
Then you live and you trust in that state that you've put yourself in of that appreciation. You're bringing all of your awareness to all that emotional state, which has been generated by that image that you created. This is what I want. Universe already knows your evidence. You don't have to worry about that, but this is what I want. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to stay in that state, on that state of experiencing this right now. I have the right to experience this right now. Thank you, subconscious mind, for doing your job. I'm just going to do this right now. Then you take action. Allow the state that you're in, that you're loving and experiencing, no matter what happens, to inspire you to take action. This state, it's transducing. It's transducing to the internal reality into an external one. So you're starting inside and it comes out. The state is that what draws this external reality to us. This state holds the vibration of that picture before us. This is why just staying in a state of gratitude is all we ever really need. Constantly, just staying in that state of gratitude. And the second you stop, you can swish it. And if you have a negative thought come in, swish it back, swish it back, swish it back. Switch it, which is another, it's an NLP technique called the swish pattern. We should be able to do a video on that someday, huh? Mm-hmm. State is everything. Being in state of appreciation and gratitude, that's everything of what you desire. We must be in a state of having and receiving already. It's already having, I am. The subconscious takes its cues from us. This is the law of attraction. If we are grateful and happy because we are consciously noticing what we love, the subconscious mind starts to create more of it because it recognizes that this is our predominant focus. Positive stress and tension will build, which can only be released when the outside world matches our vision. So outside world will start to match what we've got going on inside. Mm-hmm. As opposed to us matching what's going on in the world, all that changes. That's impermanent. This is permanent. This is going on inside. Everything happening out here in the world, it's just happening. And it's all influenced by other elements of life and nature and people. So we can't really control all of that. But know what I can control? Me. My thoughts, my imagination, my idea of living in this right to experience this now, this deep appreciation now. And then why does it seem so difficult to maintain this state? As we age, we learn to trust beliefs and we learn to trust negative feelings, which doesn't serve us. We feel foolish or even threatened for feeling appreciation and positive expectancies. We come to believe that we don't have the right to pleasant states, but we do. We absolutely do. And of being useful and helpful and grateful. But the only way our experiences has been as we grow up, we only get to experience those states of appreciation when an external thing happens to us. Well, why can't we start from inside and out instead?
I like that.
So we actually believe that something horrible will happen if we maintain a positive state. And what we want will not happen unless we hold on to that negative emotion. No, you can't do it like that. You know, that whole, you can't attach that negative to, well, that jinxing it or whatever. That's not how it works. Stay in positivity and just see what happens. And if any of your listeners have an issue or know somebody who has an issue with the negative thinking. I mean, I know people who've died of cancer and they're negative. I mean, I believe that they could have been so much healthier if they had just stayed in a positive state.
I really like what you said about it starts from the inside and you can change the outside when you change your inside first. Because a lot of the time we wait for the outside to change how we feel about the inside. Exactly. But, you know, you always hear it's an inside job.
Right.
This is what they're talking about.
This is it. Exactly.
Wow. Because that's really easy because it's like I could start right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I really like that. That's really helpful.
Yeah. As we drop that desired state, the positive structural tension is then released. There is no more attraction. So we don't want to drop that positive state.
So staying
It's
positive.
like pulling the plug on an industrial magnet. We have the industrial magnet. This is what Joe Tabanella teaches. We have this industrial magnet that's out there, and we're in this desired state. We're in it. We're constantly living in that right to be in gratitude and appreciation of our desire, of our outcome, of our what it is, our XYZ that we want. Mm-hmm. But the second we don't get it, we didn't get the part. So, you know what? Stay in the state.
Wow.
That was just a stepping stone to get there. It doesn't mean you don't get it.
I could have used this about 30 auditions ago when I had 30 meltdowns.
Right.
I'll leave an audition and I'll feel horrible.
But look at it.
And I'll like downward spiral.
Here's something that Here's something that'll help anybody who wants to go into acting. Something I heard, it was your job as an actress is your actual occupation is auditions.
So you went in, you did your job, and you did it.
You did your job. You had 3 auditions today. That's your job today.
Yeah.
You're going to get no. Okay, well, that's just the exterior world giving you feedback. Mm-hmm. What else should I do to get yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you do what kind of a show would you like to be on? Mm-hmm. Get those specifics, etc. But your job, your occupation, not just to make people laugh, because you are very funny.
Thank you.
I love your ideas. But it's just I'm going to stay in this happy state. This is my job.
Because you have the choice. You can control your thoughts, feelings, and actions.
My auditioning is my occupation. I want to be an actress. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's a word of lack. I am an actress.
Yes.
And as an actress, I have to go on auditions. Oh, that's my job.
And now with the I am, do you say I am going to or I am doing this?
I am doing. You have it already.
You're never I am going. You are I am doing.
I am. Don't do any words of lack. Anything that puts you out of now.
Okay.
The right to experience it now. Right now in your mind. It sounds weird, but you're personifying your subconscious mind as a separate entity. No, you don't have a split personality. No, nothing like that. It's just this actually works. I mean, some of you have heard about Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks.
Yes.
You know,
vortex.
The consciousness of souls that are just surrounding us. There's some truth to this. Mm-hmm. You know, there's wonderful evidences of it. So just focusing on what you already want to experience. So you're experiencing the right to have it now.
I love that.
In your mind. Start it now. Vibrations will go out and actions will start to happen. And you just follow it. Like a baby learning to walk, okay? You got them on the floor.
One foot in front of the other.
Well, not just that, but they're looking at all these other people. They don't know what these are. They don't know that these are legs.
Who's they?
Babies.
Oh.
Babies do not know. I know, sorry. Babies don't know that this is a leg. They just see that they want to copy that. So in their mind, they already see themselves walking.
Wow.
Okay, so now they try to get up and they start to stumble and then they fall. Should they just give up? No. They stand up again and they keep doing it.
They want that toy.
They want to be like that.
Yes.
They want to. So their energy is in their mind. They're already walking in their mind.
I love that.
So as they're walking in their mind, their body is now starting to adapt what's already in their mind.
Yeah.
And so as they're adapting to what's in their mind, it just makes it it makes it so much easier. So then now the baby walks. Now the mind is matching the body. Mm-hmm. The body is now matching the mind. Now they're walking. And it's just a wonderful way to manifest that. So if you take your focus off of it into a negative, you'll lose your attraction. Don't do it. Just don't do it. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, but once you do it enough, it just becomes so easy.
So when you sit and do, do some imagery in your mind and do some of that work, is it good then to also like do affirmations throughout the day that support that?
I'll always.
Like Post-it notes even? Or,
yes.
Okay.
I got little notes up on my wall in my office. Just little tidbits, just because, like, I think one of them says, just because you don't want to hear what somebody has to say doesn't mean you can't learn something from them.
Huh.
Yeah,
being open.
Always, and one of the issues I've overcome a while back was younger people teaching me something, seriously. Some 20-year-old's going to teach me something.
I get
right.
like that.
You know what? I had to get rid of that judgment. There was a belief in my head that only older people can teach me something.
Wow. I like that.
No, but it's not. It's not true. I can learn things from 2-year-olds and 80-year-olds.
Yes.
It's like it's all there. So I've just, you know what? I will listen to learn. That's a real big one for me. Listening to learn, not listening to respond. And so when I'm with a client, I'm listening to them. Now, I will respond as necessary, but I want to meet them where they're at. So if an alcoholic comes into my office and I know they're an alcoholic, but they're coming in to see me for nail biting, we're just going to work on nail biting.
That's nice.
Because that's what they want. Okay. That's where we're at. I won't bring up anything other than what they want.
What do you... Oh, sorry. Was there
okay.
more to the
Well, there is, but
steps?
that's okay. Go ahead.
What do you think about vision boards?
I love vision boards. They're a great way to help manifest what you want. Absolutely do vision boards. Do several.
I just made a new one.
Awesome.
So what I did for the first week is that twice I sat with, like the first 2 days, I sat with it and I like stared at it for 20 minutes a day. And I put a timer on and I was feeling like the emotion of like happy and exciting and staring at everything. Did it the next day and then maybe did it for like 3 minutes another day. And I haven't done anything since. It's been a week.
Do you get it out or do you have it on?
It's out.
It's out. It's on the
wall.
wall.
So I walk by and I see it. But
good.
I didn't want to I felt like I didn't want to, because sometimes I can get into like a needy energy or an obsessive, I have a very obsessive mind.
Yeah, no. You just want to stay in the state of appreciation. What
so
would
I
it be like
walk,
to walk by and stare at it for a minute? Even if it's just for a minute. But
if I want to take it out and like sit with it, I could do that. But I can also just walk by and appreciate it and let go. And now that I put that out there, I manifest it, and now I can also.
What does it feel like to have this, and this on my board? What is it like? What is it like? There was a movie that came out in 2006 called The Secret.
Yes.
And it really touches on the beginnings of what law of attraction is. And I highly recommend, just go on Amazon.
I saw it.
I think it's a really
I think it's on Netflix for free right now.
Is it? Oh,
I think
that'd be great. It's a really good way to understand how this works in more baby steps. And then there's another show, I think it's on Amazon, might be on Netflix, called Emotion 2.0.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it was, I had just seen it a couple of weeks ago, and it really goes into the emotions of the body and how they're trapped and how we need to release them.
Oh, wow.
And how foods can help us. Different foods can help create a better well-being and a state of consciousness.
Oh, my God.
That's just narrated by like a documentary, like they did with The Secret. And just goes into talking about them. But there's one gentleman in that documentary, I don't remember his name, but he's a Whole Foods nutritionist, I guess, of some sort.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, just the enzymes from different fruits put together creates other enzymes. And when you eat them together, it creates a beautiful emotional state. So if you're in depression and you mix, I guess, pineapples and oranges for something, it can help create a better emotional state, for example. And there's other examples like that. And that's just one guy of about 10 different people being interviewed on your emotional state, energy, emotion, and how to process energy. Emotions have to process. It's like the emotion is the sky. And you are the bird going through the sky. Does the emotion of the sky, or did I do that backwards? The bird is the emotion and you're the sky. So, but the bird's going through the sky. Does the sky grab a hold of the bird?
No.
No, it just goes through. Let that emotion move. A comet goes into the universe. Do the stars grab that comet? No, it just lets it go. Just allow that emotion to process, acknowledge it. But it's so painful. I know, it's so painful. Sometimes there's painful emotions. We have to experience them. It's feedback. It's all feedback so your body can prepare for whatever it is you're trying to manifest out in the world. So if you're going through some emotional stuff and you really want to manifest X, Y, and Z, this positive whatever, get rid of those emotions. Well, not necessarily get rid of them, just acknowledge, yes, I see that you're there, anger. I see that you're there, sadness and grief. I see that you're there, guilt and shame. I understand that. I'm just, while you're in tears and maybe you're sucking your thumb on the floor and you're going through this little battle with yourself, allow it, just examine it. Try to look at yourself, step out of yourself. Just look at yourself from above, going through that. Get rid of the emotional charge as you look at yourself and just go through it. Just let your body embrace those changes that are happening, because once you get out on the other side, that manifestation even gets better.
Yeah.
It's more better. It gets better. It just becomes more clear, and your body is now your body's getting ready to receive something.
Yeah.
How can it receive? Let me talk about my life has been crazy for the past year. I've moved, I can't tell you how many times. I'm in my 50s and I'm moving again, and I'm moving farther away from the valley. So, but I'm just like, I could be angry. I could be aloof. I could be sad, but I'm taking this as an adventure.
I love that.
It's just another adventure. So I get to be a gypsy in my 50s.
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear my acting teacher calls reframing your life experiences.
And reinventing.
Reinventing.
I love the reframing. That's a really good way to put it.
He says, frame things a certain way. Frame things like, oh, well, this is an adventure.
Yeah, it's an adventure. Yeah. I could take it one way, but I reframe it. And in NLP, we talk about reframing. So when we have an event that causes us to drop our state, so we're in this wonderful state of, I have the right to experience this now. It's because our belief structure, we have a limiting belief, and it's accompanying this emotion that's brought on to, it's now surfacing these emotions already. They're surfacing, and those emotions need to be released. So you release them. And if you can be aware of that state you want, while allowing your emotions to be felt fully, without resistance, that's one of the things that we tend to do, your body will learn from this experience and move you closer to what you're focusing on, just like what I was saying. So you ask yourself, does this external event have a right to be? Of course it does. Do these emotions in my body being processing in the world, do they have a right to be? Yeah. Can I keep my awareness on my desired experience? What I want to attract, and resulting in a positive state that I want to be in. I want to be in appreciation, gratitude, happy, while I let my body and brain learn from the events that are happening. Of course, what action can I take to get me closer to my desired outcome right now? I want to process these emotions. Things are going to come up in your mind. All of a sudden, you're going to have ideas and creativity you didn't even know existed. Where did that come from? Wow. Somebody will come up with an idea. They'll give you an idea. They'll say something that'll spark an idea. Every little thing is just going to come your way. Just going to give you that avenue to get where you want to go. The state is a feeling of allowing, soaking in, and receiving. Emotions move through our bodies. If we have any tension or judgment around the emotions moving through us, we stop them. We cannot maintain and receive a receiving state of appreciation and simultaneously have tension. So it's got to be let go. Let those emotions go. As children, we confuse emotions with the event itself. So the emotions are not the event any more than the white red blood cells rushing to an injury is the injury. If the event is not to our liking, we have a tendency to resist our body's emotional response to the event. The emotional response was our body processing the contrast between what is and what we want. It was processing the event so we can learn now how to get what we want. So all of it's just feedback. And learning and realizing it's just feedback. Then the state often gets dropped when a subconscious program comes to the surface. Okay, I want this, I want the XYZ I'm living in. It feels so good. I have the right to experience this now. And all of a sudden, some past thought comes up and you drop your state. But that's your body saying, okay, well, you want it, but we got to let this go first.
Okay.
For you to get that, you got to do this. Oh,
So dealing
is
with
dealing
whatever
with
is
whatever
going
that-
on
whatever
to
that-
disrupt. Okay.
disruption. Good way to put it. It is this moment that we can unconsciously decide to become more interested in dealing and coping with the belief or memory projection than the desired future project. So emotions are a part of the learning process. You gotta go through them, people. They're so important. If they are accepted, they help guide us. When we resist, there is a belief or generalization we attach to them from our past. And the subconscious mind is a creating machine. It's always creating. If you hold an image, good or bad, it is a tendency to want more of that. So the more you hold the good image, the more it wants of it. And it's going to help you get there.
Awesome.
So we have forgotten that intention is our job, and the behavior belongs to the body and the brain. Separate the two. If you know your outcome and you maintain the state no matter what, your subconscious mind will do the rest.
Awesome. Well, I feel like that's a good place to end for now. It's a lot of information.
Lots of information.
So just to do a really quick recap, to really just, sum it up, it's staying in a place of gratitude.
Yes, and appreciation.
Appreciation,
Know
positivity.
Know your outcome. Decide what your values are. Know your intentions. Be in that state. And know you have the right to be there.
Okay, and that's
Identify
that's
values,
important.
Find your evidence procedure. Make your evidence procedure compelling. Step into your evidence procedure. Live and trust in the state and take action. And if you want to know more, come and see me.
Where can we, so this was Ilah Brock again, and where can we find you? Do you have a website?
I have a website. It's www.marvistahypnotherapy.com.
How do you spell it?
MARVISTA, hypnotherapy, HYPNOTHERAPY.com.
Great. And we can contact you on there.
Or my phone at 562-760-7723. And if you mention the Chelsea Skidmore show is where you heard from me, you get the special Chelsea discount.
I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ilah, for coming on. I know we're going to have you back on again because there's so much
out there
that we could talk about.
Great.
But thank you guys for listening. And please remember to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Thank
you.
Bye.